Hi, I'm Lauren, and welcome back to my craft room. We're celebrating a brand new Whimsy release day today with this fun Pig Out birthday cake card. Here are some of the supplies I used. I have my dies from the Make-A-Wish outline die set, and these cut out a cake with frosting and dish. I have a sheet of the brand new bandana paper, my piggy background stamp, and my bold ABC die cuts. I'm going to stamp my piggy background first. I'm going to be using some repositional tape with my pink cardstock because it is exactly an A2 card size and I want to make sure that it is lined up. So I put some repositional tape on the back. I have my stamp in my MISTI and I'm placing my paper exactly how I want it to stamp. And then I close my MISTI and the repositional tape will stick to my inside my MISTI. I stamped the stamp with my VersaMark ink and I'm just using my little helper here to make sure I have a nice clean even stamp. And now I will be adding my embossing powder. I'm going to be using this really pretty rose gold, I believe it's called Strawberry Champagne embossing powder from Ink on 3. It's a super fine detail embossing powder, and I did this because my stamp has really thin lines. The nice thing about rubber stamps is they have excellent detail. So I wanted to make sure I captured all of that detail by using a super fine embossing powder. I've warmed up my heat gun and I'm just using my tweezers to help me hold my paper, and I'm going to emboss my image. I love that it makes this fun repeating background. Look at those cute little pigs, and they're so fun with rose gold or strawberry champagne embossing powder on my pink paper. I want to add a little more color to my background, so I am getting out my Distress Oxide in Worn Lipstick, and I'm just going to bring up a little bit of a color so it looks kind of like an ombre effect on my cardstock. I'm just blending it on the bottom and slowly bringing the ink up to the top so it has a nice fade in between the two colors. I brought out my microfiber cloth just to clean off any of the ink that is on top of the embossing powder so it stays nice and shiny. I'll go ahead and take it off my Make Art mat and I can move on to splattering. I have my splatter box and my watercolors, and I'm using this kind of red color. It's a little bit bold, but that's okay because I'm going to bring out that towel again and pick up some of that ink, and now it's a little more of a faded red pink color. I've die cut my cake out of some vanilla cardstock, and I die cut all of my frosting out of that pink bandana paper. I'm going to attach my black dish down to the bottom of my die cut. This is actually the outline die for the stamped cake from the Make-A-Wish set, but Whimsy included these extra larger die cuts to make frosting, so you can use that outline cake without the stamp to create a die cut piece together cake. How cool is that? So I love that I can die cut my frosting out of some fun paper and glue them together onto my cake. I originally was going to just have the bandana paper be kind of part of the background, but as I was creating this, I thought it would be kind of fun to use this bandana paper as frosting. It adds a lot of color and texture to the frosting, and it makes it look like someone decorated the cake to look like a bandana. Now my vanilla cardstock looked a little plain and my cake didn't really look like it had any texture to it, so I brought in one of my Spectrum Noir markers, added some dots to add texture, and then added some flicks to give a little bit of shading, and so my cake pieces would look a little more round. I really like how my cake turned out. I think it looks pretty yummy. I'm going to be die cutting my background to create this scalloped border, and that is where my cake will sit on the center of my card. Using my bold ABCs, I die cut out the sentiment pig out of some black cardstock to match that plate under my cake. I have it laid out how I want to on my card, so I'm just using some mint tape to keep those letters together, and then I will use my wet glue to add the glue. This will help me keep my letters all together, so when I try to put it back onto my card, I don't have to readjust or glue them on one at a time. I already know it's wonky how I like it, and I can center it really easily onto my background. For my cake, I'm going to pop it up just using some foam squares. And I also let my mint tape stay until my letters were dry, the glue was dry, and now I can pull off the release paper behind my cake and add it to my card. I'm using my new grid mat just to help make sure that my cake is centered. Now I'm going to adhere it to my card base. I'm just going to use some wet glue to glue it down, and I couldn't resist making a little pig face while I was adding my glue. I'm going to center that onto a white card base. This is an A2 size. It is scored at 5.5 to create a top folding card, which is my favorite way to make cards. I think it makes the card sit up on a mantle so much easier because everyone is saving my cards, right? I have these fun sequins from the Doodles Paper Playground Sparkle Blends collection. I believe this blend is now retired, but I did link her Etsy shop down below so you can see what is available. Using my jewel picker and some wet glue, I'm going to glue some sequins around my card. I really love how this is turning out. I'm just going to clean up my desk a little here, and here is the final card. I love all the pink and the shimmer and those fun repeating pigs in the background. It's subtle, but they're just so darn cute. You can find links to all the products I used in this video down below. I hope that you'll click like if you enjoyed this process, and if you're new, you'll hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.